Khureb BeRuakh, Sword of the Spirit, narrated and interpreted by Wendy.
AIKAH, Lamentations. Chapter 1. How does the city which was full of people sit solitary? How has she become like a widow? She was great among the nations, and a princess among the provinces. How has she become a tributary? She weeps severely through the streets, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she has no one to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They have become her enemies. Yehuda has gone into captivity because of affliction, and because of great servitude. She dwells among the nations. She finds no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the straits. The ways of Zion mourn, because no one comes to the solemn feasts. All her gates are desolate. Her priests sigh. Her virgins are afflicted, and she is in bitterness. Her adversaries are the chief. Her enemies prosper. For Yahweh has afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions. Her children have gone into captivity before the enemy. And from the daughter of Zion, all her beauty has departed. Her princes have become like deer that have no pasture, and they have gone before the pursuer without strength. During the days of her affliction and wandering, Yerushalayim remembered all her pleasant things that she had during the days of old, when her people fell into the hand of the enemy, and no one helped her. The adversaries saw her and mocked at her shabbats. Yerushalayim has grievously sinned, therefore she was removed. All who honored her despise her, because they have seen her nakedness. She sighs and turns backward. Her filthiness is in her skirts. She does not remember her latter end. Therefore she came down wonderfully. She has no comforter. O Yahweh, behold my affliction, for the enemy has magnified himself. The adversary has spread out his hand upon her pleasant things, for she has seen that the nations have entered into her sanctuary, whom you commanded that they should not enter into your congregation. All her people sigh. They seek bread. They have given their pleasant things for grain to revive the soul. See, O Yahweh, and consider, for I have become vile. Is it nothing to you, all you who pass by? Behold and see if there is any sorrow similar to my sorrow, which has been done to me, by which Yahweh has afflicted me during the day of his fierce anger. He sent fire into my bones from above, and it prevails against them. He has spread a net for my feet. He has turned me back. He has made me desolate and faint all day. The yoke of my transgressions is bound by his hand. They are wreathed. They come upon my neck. He has made my strength to fall. Adonai has delivered me into their hands, from whom I have not been able to rise up. Adonai has trodden all the mighty men in the midst of me underfoot. He has carried an assembly against me to crush my young men. Adonai has trodden the virgin, the daughter of Yehuda, like in the winepress. For these things I weep. My eye runs down with water, because the Comforter who will revive my soul is far from me. My children are desolate, because the enemy prevailed. Zion spread forth her hands, and there is no one to comfort her. Yahweh has commanded concerning Jacob that his adversaries will surround him. Yerushalayim is like a menstruous woman among them. Yahweh is righteous, for I have rebelled against his commandment. Hear, I pray you, all people, and behold my sorrow. My virgins and my young men have gone into captivity. I called for my lovers, but they deceived me. My priests and my elders have given up the ghost in the city, while they sought their gain to revive their souls. Behold, O 𝐉𝐄, for I am in distress, my bowels are troubled. My heart is turned within me, for I have grievously rebelled. Abroad the sword bereaves. At home it is like death. They have heard that I sigh. There is no one to comfort me. All my enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that you have done it. Will you bring a day that you call, and they will be similar to me? Let all their wickedness come before you, and do to them like you have done to me for all my transgressions. For my sighs are many, and my heart is faint. Chapter 2. How has Adonai covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud during his anger, and cast down the beauty of Yashareel from the heavens to the earth, and not remembered his footstool during the day of his anger? Adonai has swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob, and has not pitied. During his wrath he has thrown down the strongholds of the daughter of Yehudah. He has brought them down to the ground. He has polluted the kingdom and its princes. During his fierce anger, he has cut off the entire horn of Yashareel. He has drawn back his hand from before his enemy, and he has burned against Jacob like a flaming fire which devours round about. He has bent his bow like an enemy. He stood with his right hand like an adversary, and slew all who were pleasant to the eye in the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion. He poured out his fury like fire. Adonai was like an enemy. He has swallowed up Yashareel. He has swallowed up all her palaces. He has destroyed his strongholds, and has increased in the daughter of Yehudah mourning and lamentation. He has violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were of a garden. He has destroyed his palaces of the assembly. Yahweh has caused the solemn feasts and shabbats to be forgotten in Zion. Also, during the indignation of his anger, he has despised the king and the priest. Adonai has cast off his altar. He has detested his sanctuary. He has given up the walls of her palaces into the hand of the enemy. They have made a noise in the house of Yahweh, like during the day of a solemn feast. Yahweh has purposed to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He has stretched out a line. He has not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore, he made the rampart and the wall to lament. They languish together. Her gates have sunk into the ground. He has destroyed and broken her bars. Her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. The teaching is no more, and her prophets find no vision from Yahweh. The elders of the daughter of Zion sit upon the ground and keep silent. They have cast up dust upon their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The virgins of Yerushalayim hang down their head to the ground. My eyes fill with tears. My bowels are troubled. My liver is poured upon the earth, for the destruction of the daughter of my people, because the children and the sucklings swoon in the streets of the city. They say to their mothers, "Where is grain and wine?" when they swooned, like the wounded in the streets of the city, when their soul was poured out into their mother's bosom. What thing will I take to witness for you? What thing will I compare to you, O daughter of Yerushalayim? What is equal to you, so that I may comfort you, O daughter of Zion? For your breach is great like the sea. Who can heal you? Your prophets have seen vain and foolish things for you, and they have not discovered your iniquity, to turn away your captivity, but have seen false prophecies and causes of banishment for you. All who pass by clap their hands at you. They hiss and shake their head at the daughter of Yerushalayim, saying, "Is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth?" All your enemies have opened their mouth against you. They hiss and gnash teeth. They say, "We have swallowed her up." Surely this is the day we have looked for. We have found. We have seen it. Yahweh has done that which he has devised. He has fulfilled his word, which he has commanded during the days of old. He has thrown down and has not pitied. Also, he has caused your enemy to rejoice over you. He has set up the horn of your adversaries. Their heart cried to Adonai, "O wall of the daughter of Zion, let tears run down like a river day and night. Give yourself no rest. Do not let the apple of your eye cease. Arise, cry out during the night. During the beginning of the watches, pour out your heart like water before the face of Adonai. Lift up your hands towards him for the life of your young children, who faint for hunger in the top of every street. Behold, O Yahweh, and consider to whom you have done this. Will the women eat their fruit and the children they have cuddled? Will the priest and the prophet be slain in the sanctuary of Adonai? The young and the old lie on the ground in the streets. My virgins and my young men have fallen by the sword. You have slain them during the day of your anger. You have killed and not pitied. Like during a solemn day, you have called my terrors round about, so that during the day of the anger of Yahweh, no one has escaped nor remained. My enemy has consumed those who I have swaddled and brought up. Chapter 3. I am the warrior who has seen affliction by the rod of his wrath. He has led me and brought me into darkness, and not into light. Surely he has turned against me. He turns his hand against me all day. He has made my flesh and my skin old. He has broken my bones. He has built against me and encompassed me with gall and travail. He has set me in dark places like those who are dead of old. He has hedged around me so that I cannot get out. He has made my chain heavy. Also, when I cry and shout, he shuts out my prayer. He has enclosed my ways with cut stones. He has made my path crooked. He was like a bear lying in wait against me, like a lion in secret places. He has turned my ways aside and pulled me in pieces. He has made me desolate. He has bent his bow and set me like a mark for the arrow. He has caused the arrows of his quiver to enter into my reins. He was a derision against all my people, and their song all day. He has filled me with bitterness. He has made me drunk with wormwood. Also, he has broken my teeth with gravel stones. He has covered me with ashes, and you have removed my soul far away from peace. I have forgotten prosperity. And I said, my strength and my hope has perished from Yahweh. Remembering my affliction and my misery, the wormwood and the gall. Still my soul has them in remembrance and is humbled within myself. I recall this to my mind. Therefore I have hope. It is by the mercy of Yahweh that we are not consumed, because his compassion does not fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Yahweh is my portion, my soul says. Therefore I will hope in him. Yahweh is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. It is good that someone both hopes and quietly waits for the salvation of Yahweh. It is good for a warrior that he carries the yoke during his youth. He sits alone and keeps silent, because he carries it upon him. He puts his mouth in the dust. If so, there will be hope. He gives his cheek to him who strikes him. He is filled full with reproach. For Adonai will not cast off forever. Although he causes grief, still yet he will have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. For he does not afflict willingly, nor grieve the children of men, to crush all the prisoners of the earth under his feet, to turn aside the warrior's judgment before the face of the Most High, to subvert an Adam during his cause. The Lord does not approve. Who is he who speaks and it comes to pass, when Adonai does not command it? Out of the mouth of the Most High does good and evil not proceed? Why does Adam, a living warrior, complain for the punishment of his sins? Let us search and try our ways, and turn again unto Yahweh. Let us lift up our heart with our hands to all in the heavens. We have transgressed and rebelled. You have not pardoned. You have covered with anger and persecuted us. You have slain. You have not pitied. You have covered yourself with a cloud, so that our prayer will not pass through. You have made us like the filth and refuse in the midst of the people. All our enemies have opened their mouths against us. Fear and a trap has come upon us, desolation and destruction. My eye runs down with rivers of water for the destruction of the daughter of my people. My eye trickles down and will not cease without any intermission until Yahweh looks down and sees from the heavens. My eye afflicts my heart because of all the daughters of my city. My enemies chased me greatly, like a bird without a cause. They have cut off my life in the dungeon and cast a stone upon me. Waters flowed over my head. Then I said, I am cut off. I called upon your name, O Yahweh, out of the low dungeon. You have heard my voice. Do not hide your ear at my breathing, at my cry. You drew near during the day that I called upon you. You said, do not fear. O Adonai, you have pleaded the causes of my soul. You have redeemed my life. O Yahweh, you have seen my wrong. Judge my cause. You have seen all their vengeance and all their imaginations against me. You have heard their reproach, O Yahweh, and all their imaginations against me. The lips of those who rose up against me, and their device against me all day. Behold them sitting down, and them rising up. I am their music. Render to them a recompense, O Yahweh, according to the work of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart, your curse to them. Persecute and destroy them with the anger from under the heavens of Yahweh. Chapter 4. How has the gold become dim? How has the fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold. How are they esteemed like earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter. Even the sea monsters draw out of the breast. They give suck to their little ones. The daughters of my people have become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. The tongue of the sucking child cleaves to the roof of his mouth for thirst. The young children ask for bread, but no man breaks it for them. Those who ate delicately are desolate in the streets. Those who were brought up in scarlet embrace dunghills. For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, which was overthrown like in a moment, and no hands stayed upon her. Her Natzarim were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more red in body than rubies. Their polishing was of sapphire. Their visage is blacker than coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaves to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick. Those who are slain with the sword are better than those who are slain with hunger, for they pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. The hands of the pitiful women have stewed their own children. They were their food during the destruction of the daughter of my people. 𤤄𤄄 has accomplished his fury. He has poured out his fierce anger, and has kindled a fire in Zion, and has devoured its foundations. The kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the adversary and the enemy would have entered into the gates of Jerusalem. For the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests, who have shed the blood of the righteous, are in the midst of her. They have wandered like blind men in the streets. They have polluted themselves with blood, so that men cannot touch their garments. They cried to them, "Depart, it is unclean. Depart, depart, do not touch." When they fled away and wandered, they said among the nations they will sojourn there no more. The anger of 𤤄𝄗 has divided them. He will regard them no more. They did not respect the people of the priests. They did not favor the elders. As for us, our eyes still failed for our vain help. During our watching, we have watched for a nation that would not save us. They hunt our steps so that we cannot go into the streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end has come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heavens. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of 𤤄𝄗, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, "Under his shadow we will live among the nations." Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, who dwells in the land of Aus. Also the cup will pass through to you. You will become drunk and will make yourself naked. The punishment of your iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will carry you away into captivity no more. He will visit your iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover your sins. Chapter 5. Remember, O 𤤄𝄗, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance we turn over unto the nations, our houses unto the foreigners. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are like widows. We have drunk our waters for money. Our wood is sold to us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We have given the hand to Mitzrayim and to Ashur to be satisfied with bread. Our fathers have sinned and are no more. We have carried their iniquities. Servants have ruled over us. There is no one who delivered us out of their hand. We got our bread by the peril of our lives, because of the sword of the wilderness. Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. They ravished the women in Zion, also the maids in the city of Yehuda. Princes were hanged up by their hand. The presence of the elders was not honored. They took the young men to grind, and the children fell under the wood. The elders have ceased from the gate, the young men from their music. The joy of our heart has ceased. Our dance has turned into mourning. The crown has fallen from our head. Woe to us, we have sinned. For this our heart is faint. For these things our eyes are dim. Because of the mountain of Zion, which is desolate, the foxes walk upon it. You, O 𤤄𤄅, remain forever. Your throne is from generation to generation. Why do you forget us forever, and forsake us for such a long time? Turn us to you, O 𤤄𝐄℅, and we will be turned. Renew our days like of old. For if you completely reject us, you are very wroth against us.
The end. Thank you for listening to my interpretation of AIKAH, Lamentations. I hope that you find my Bible series, Khureb BeRuakh, Sword of the Spirit, enlightening. The word of 𤤄𝐄℅ is a treasure trove of mysteries. It's amazing what you'll discover when you read it with your eyes open. My name is Wendy, and you've been called out of darkness